Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. It is the end of August, which means we all get to talk about the things that we were loving during the past month. So I've got a little bit of everything: makeup, bath time, skin, face, hair, but I'm going to try to be brief and efficient today. So if you're interested in finding out what I've been loving this past month, then let's get started. So my makeup routine every day has basically started with the same combination of products. In addition to my moisturizer, I've been using the Benefit Pore-fessional face primer and the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Basically, I want to give the impression that I look that fabulous every single day with minimal work and no effort, which is a complete lie, but hey, it's what I'm trying to put out there, I suppose. So the Benefit Pore-fessional, this is the pore minimizing primer. I actually just did a review on a number of different primers. I'll include that link down below. As far as pore minimizing, this primer does that. I have awfully large pores, but it also seems to mattify my makeup a little bit, keeps my foundation in place, smooths it out. It's very creamy, I called it a thin paste like consistency, which I think blends really, really well, but doesn't only sit on top of my skin. As a primer, I keep going back to this even when I'm trying out other things or using a different primer. It's not too drying, not too tacky. I just really, really love this primer. I'm also really loving the Too Faced Born This Way primer, which I also did a review on. I'll also link that down below. The Too Faced Born This Way foundation does not market itself as a mattifying foundation, but I am able to use it even though I have very oily skin. It sits on my skin very, very nicely. I might have to, blot with some blotting papers like midway through the day, which I don't really mind, because what it does is it winds up giving me just a hint of a luminous glow without being too much, because if it were too much, it would just completely create a mess with my oily skin. It is medium to full coverage, which I love that as well, because you can kind of build it to your desired level of coverage or the coverage level that you need for that day. I do have acne as well, and so I do appreciate a foundation that is not light in its coverage, but definitely buildable so that you don't wind up looking like cake face, which would be awful. Although I like cake, but cake should not be on your face. Their color selection is amazing. It has a pump, which is just glorious, and so for a number of reasons, I cannot seem to put this down. Also for your face, I got the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow Face Sculptor and Highlighter. Basically, it's a bronzer and highlighter. I love this combination. I think the formula of the powder is really creamy, and so it blends really nicely, but it's not overly pigmented so that you've got to do an excessive amount of blending in order to get it, blended nicely into your skin. The bronzer and the highlighter, they don't necessarily swatch that well, which is kind of ironic, because when it comes on your face, here's the bronzer, or here's the contour powder. They call it a bronzer, but I really use it as a contour powder. And then here's the highlighter as well. So they're not like super overwhelming, which I think is good because it gives you way more control, especially if you don't have a lot of skill with makeup application. This kind of prevents you from making any mistakes. It is very expensive. Was it $68? But I think for the quality of the product and the gorgeous packaging, if you've got the budget to invest in it, I've really been liking it. And a good test for me is whether or not I want to return it. And I don't want to return this, and I'm still holding on to it. A couple of lippy products. I have been loving the NYX lip liners. Now, everybody loves a good MAC lip liner. In fact, I own quite a few, but I want my lip liner, especially since I'm taking it with me on the go, I want my lip liner to not have to be sharpened with a pencil. Who can do that when you're on the go? So the one that I've been using also, or not also, the color that I've been using is the Nude, which this is by far the best nude colored lip liner I have ever used. Sometimes the nude lip liners are so light that you can't even see them, or they're so dark, so even when you're using a very light lipstick color, they wind up showing through like it was 1995. But this one it just sits well underneath any variety of colors. In fact, I'm wearing it today, despite the fact that I'm wearing kind of a tomato red lipstick color. I'm just like, you can't go wrong. So this is the NYX, what do they call it? Well, they say that it's waterproof, so that's great. This writing is so tiny. Oh my gosh. It's the Retractable Lip Liner. So it's even basic in its name. And this is Nude, and it is. NYX, also really, really cheap. I think it's like less than $5. So you really can't go wrong with that. I've got like a million of these like stashed everywhere. I have been using my Nude Retractable NYX Lip Liner with my new favorite obsession from MAC. This is their Cremesheen line. It's called Modesty. It's been out for a long time, but I had typically been in the peachy pink kind of lip colors, and now I kind of like the pinky mauve. I was in the peachy pink, now I'm in the pinky mauve department. I live for their Cremesheen lipsticks just in general. Probably my most favorite lipstick ever because the Cremesheen formula is just so versatile and easy to wear. But this is Modesty. And it's a pinky mauve. It's got this like hint of kind of purple in it, and I'm loving it right now. I have a trifecta of Makeup Geek eyeshadows that I have been loving. They've been out for a while, but I had kind of gotten a bunch of her other ones, and I didn't invest in buying the entire line initially. And so now I've kind of been going back to the eyeshadows that I hadn't purchased that I was kind of missing out on. So my first one is called Purely Naked. And it is, but not so that you don't see it, so it's not completely naked. Everybody loves Peach Smoothie as a transition color in your crease. It doesn't work well with my skin. I own it, I've used it a number of times, and I'm just not feeling it. So I was looking for a really good, very light crease color, and that's Purely Naked. And I can't put it down. I think this is, if you don't like Peach Smoothie as a crease color because it just doesn't work with your skin tone, I've got an olive skin tone but light. So Peach Smoothie just kind of it actually looked a little orange on me, and I just wasn't a fan. And so Purely Naked has a different tone, but is still a blendable transition shade, so that I can't, like I said, I can't put it down. Interestingly enough, it looks like, you know, when you swap in the pan, it looks like there's glitter, but it never comes out. When it first arrived in the package, I was like, oh, there's glitter in it? And it's just, they're very faint, but when you wear it and when you swatch it, you really don't see it. So it's kind of like an illusion, but Purely Naked is my absolute, hands down, favorite crease color, favorite transition crease color right now. So I got a couple other Makeup Geek eyeshadows as well. This is Crème Brulee, which I thought I was going to be using as my transition color, but it's a little bit darker than that. So when you want to deepen up Purely Naked, you can go with Crème Brulee. Actually, you can see it's a slightly different tone. And I have been using this as my crease color, my transition color as well. But typically I've been going in with Purely Naked and then kind of deepening up the crease just a little bit with Crème Brulee. And I think that they complement each other really, really nicely. So I said there was a trifecta. That's because there is a third one that I got. This one is Frappe. I don't know, F-R-A-P-P-E with a little E on the E. We get so fancy sometimes. So this is Frappe, which now also, depending on how much deeper you wanted to go as far as intensifying your crease color, or maybe using this as an outer crease color if you were going a little bit more subtle, this is Frappe. And these three guys are like my new eyeshadow trifecta. I love them, and I wish I had more eyes so that I could do different combinations of them, but I've just really been loving them. I have a makeup tool that I think I talked about in a haul actually, and I think I said at that point too, I'm like, what took you so long? This is by Tweezerman, and it's an eyelash curler, but it's for, can you see that? It's for it's for almond shaped or deep set eyes. And I've got very big eyes, and so this is like, oh my God, like I said, I'm like, where have you been all my life? So basically I would use a variety of different eyelash curlers, and the very edges of my eyelashes would get kinked in the edge. So everything else would kind of bend nicely, and then there would be like a sharp hook in my outer eyelashes, and I'm like, for real? Like, this is unnecessary. So because this is so, it's as if they took a normal eyelash curler and opened it up just a little bit to accommodate eyes that are wider, you know, in width, or almond shaped, or are deep set. And it just, I mean, it just, ugh. I'm like, where have you been? And so, yeah, for big cow-eyed people like me, Tweezerman really kicked it up a notch and came out with something that I feel like, I mean, eyes are not the same shape. So why have eyelash curlers always basic? They all are carbon copies of each other with some minor variation. And this one now is way different. I could like, like covers my mouth and looks like, oh my God, now I look like I have a mustache. I'm playing with my tools. I should have said at the very beginning when I was talking about how I love using the Pore-fessional primer and the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, I actually had kind of a new trifecta there as well, because this is hands down my most favorite moisturizer now for the morning, because first of all, it has SPF in it. It's by Elta MD. I don't even remember how I found out about it. I think I was just like reading a magazine or an article online or something, and they were talking about how this particular moisturizer is so great for skin types prone to acne, rosacea, and hyperpigmentation. My problem with a lot of the SPF moisturizers was that they were kind of thick and didn't blend in very nicely, and they made my skin burn. This is so creamy and feels so elegant on my skin when I use it in the mornings. And I don't even think I'm ever going to try another SPF moisturizer, because you could not top this. You really couldn't. It's about $25 for 1.7 ounces, so it's kind of in the mid-range as far as pricing goes. It calms and protects acne-prone skin. It's got a whole bunch of like vitamins and minerals in it, like niacinamide and zinc oxide, which they say that's the SPF, and they call it transparent. It does not leave a white sheen. Well, I would say wide. It does not leave a white sheen on my skin, which some of the SPF based formulas will do. Oh my God, you could charge like don't, but you could charge like $100 for this and I would still buy it, because it makes my skin so happy, and it's protecting it from the sun, which will prevent fine lines and wrinkles and sunspots and skin cancer. And home run. I don't even like baseball anymore. I am all about football. Why did I call it a home run? Touchdown! Let's get in the shower for a second. I have talked in the past about the Dove Nutrium body wash. It's very creamy in nature, kind of looks like whipped cream, makes your skin feel really, really soft and smooth once you rinse it off without feeling greasy and as if it's left a residue. So I kind of thought that was my holy grail body wash, because I don't really care about how it smells. I care about how it feels. So for some reason, the drugstore was able to come out with a really, really luxurious body wash for not a lot of money. And then I was visiting Canada one weekend, kind of a while ago, and I saw on the shelf by Nivea, this happens to be what they call Harmony Time. There's a number of different Nivea varieties, but they called it a shower cream. And I was very intrigued by that, because that implied that it would be very moisturizing. So I picked up a bottle when I was visiting Canada, and I loved it. It is so moisturizing. Your skin feels so silky when you rinse off in the shower. It's as if you put on a moisturizer everywhere without it being nasty. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And so I went to the store in the States and couldn't find it. I was like, what? And in fact, all Nivea had was what they called a body wash. And I thought, well, I don't want a body wash. And in fact, again, this one is by Nivea called Touch of Harmony. So there's Nivea USA Touch of Harmony body wash. And then there's Nivea Harmony Time shower cream from Canada. Turns out that they are the same thing, which I was super happy about because I thought I was gonna have to keep going to Canada in order to get the most glorious body wash that I've ever experienced. It actually outperforms the Dove Nutrium body wash. I didn't even think that was possible. It's very drippy in nature, whereas the Dove body wash is, like I said, it's a little bit more like whipped cream. It's a little bit thicker. But this just rinsing off your skin is so grateful to you as a human being for applying something that just makes it feel so soft and smooth and moisturized for not a lot of money at all. And you don't have to go international in order to get it. So Nivea, and I don't just like the Touch of Harmony. Like I said, they've got a number of different styles that I can't think of off the top of my head. I don't really care because they all work the same and they all smell really nice. This one happens to have shea butter and a vanilla blossom scent, but it's a it actually says moisturizing body wash on it, and it is just amazing that I felt the need to burst into song. Cut it. So while we're still in the shower, I have an amazing hair mask. This is the Macadamia Natural Oil Deep Repair Mask, and they spell it M-A-S-Q-U-E, just to be a little fancy. I know it as M-A-S-K, but whatever. Call yourself whatever you like if it makes you feel better. This was a little expensive. This is about 8 ounces and it was almost $20. I got it at Target. I don't know if you can get it anywhere else. It doesn't really even smell that great. It doesn't smell bad, but I don't smell it and go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to use you. It just has a pleasant, okay, quite frankly, it smells almost a little bit like medicine. I don't know why, because it's got macadamia. It's macadamia based. However, as a hair mask, it is awesome and it makes my hair feel so soft and moisturized without feeling oily or greasy. It rinses really clean, but doesn't rinse away. I hate when you put something either on your skin or in your hair, and you want to make sure that it doesn't leave behind anything that's gross, but then sometimes they wind up like rinsing away and you're like, well, what the heck did I just spend all that time for trying to moisturize or nourish or whatever, and then you're gone. You didn't do it, you didn't last, you didn't stick around. But this hair mask completely rinses clean, but still accomplishes what you tried to do, which in this case is moisturize your hair. And I do color my hair, and so I really do like a really good hair mask. Typically when I'm, shaving, I'll decide to put a hair mask in, and by the time I'm done shaving, I rinse it out and it's done the job. So a little bit expensive, but I do think worth the price because it winds up feeling really, really nice. I am gonna close this August favorites list out with, is it an oldie but goodie? It's not brand new, but I don't know how long it's been around. By Philosophy, it's their Fresh Cream. Apparently I'm into cream, shower cream, lotion cream. So this is it's a body lotion. And a lot of times I find with body lotions, they tend to be a little bit too thick, so you don't, or something, you don't necessarily want to use all of the body lotions, on your hands. I've got a million hand and body lotions. I'm sure you do too. Most people do. I don't know what it is about humanity that we want to hoard body lotions, but I've got a pretty good variety and collection. This hands down outperforms them all. I mean, first of all, let's just talk about the smell. It's like a hint of bakery. It's so calming. I smell it and it just makes me so happy. So if you like a sweet kind of smell, this could be your thing. It's a little bit liquidy. I mean, obviously it's not liquid. I mean, look at that. It's so light. It looks like a white little chocolate chip. Oh my God, so cute. But it thins itself out very nicely, so it spreads really well and really evenly. It feels wet for like a hot minute, or like a hot second as you're spreading it out and you're like, oh, okay, what are you doing for me? And then it just blends in and has moisturized you and doesn't feel too greasy. I could sit here all day. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to explain. It really is something you need to experience yourself. I do not think you will be disappointed unless you don't like sweet smelling things that might really get on your nerves. But I don't really like floral smelling things, so this is totally up my alley. I own 3 of these already, like right now in various locations around my house. I've decanted it into a little tiny container, and this is the lotion that I choose to carry with me in my handbag all the time because I haven't found a tiny little travel size. Oh my gosh, if you know where there's a tiny little travel size of this, I will forever be your BFF because I love mini tiny little things, and I would love to have the original bottle in mini to be able to carry around with me. So if you've ever seen it, please let me know in the comments below because that would absolutely make my day. But the Philosophy Fresh Cream Lotion, even though I own a ton of other lotions, I kind of think it's my favorite. So thank you for spending this time with me. That concludes my list of August favorites. What are your favorite products that you've been using this month? I would really be interested in knowing. I am on other social medias, Instagram and Twitter, so maybe check me out over there if you have a minute. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you'd like to see a little bit more of me and hang out with me, then I would really appreciate if you would become a new subscriber. That always sounds and feels so weird to say, but anyway, again, thank you so much for stopping by. I really do hope you have a good rest of the day. I look forward to seeing you in my next video, and in the meantime, thanks.
And so if you're interested in finding out what I've been loving using this I've mentioned that before. Slow down just a little bit there. How much coffee have I had today? Holy cow. Even though I have oily skin, and I really believe will work with a major variety of skin tones. No. My God, I'm just like tripping over my words. They're like all up here, and then when they try to funnel out this hole in my face, they get all jumbled up.